I never thought I'd be the kind of person who records phone calls. But then again, I never thought I'd be the kind of person whose husband cheats with a woman who calls to brag about it either. Life has a funny way of turning you into someone you don't recognize. My name is Claire. I'm 34, and up until 6 months ago, I thought I had a pretty good marriage. Not perfect, what marriage is, but solid. My husband Daniel and I had been together for 9 years, married for 6. We had a comfortable life in the suburbs, decent jobs, a golden retriever named Murphy, and plans to start trying for kids next year. We did date nights, we laughed together, we had inside jokes. I thought we were happy. I should have known something was wrong when he started going to the gym at 5:30 a.m. Daniel had never been a morning person. For the entire time I'd known him, getting him out of bed before 8 a.m. on a weekend was like trying to wake the dead. But suddenly, in January, he became obsessed with getting in shape for the new year. Every morning his alarm would go off at 5:15 and he'd be out the door by 5:30, heading to the 24-hour gym across town. Not the one 5 minutes from our house, mind you, but the one with better equipment. He'd come home around 7:30, shower, and head to work. By the time I woke up, he was already gone most days. "It's the only time I can fit it in," he'd explain when I asked why he couldn't just go after work like a normal person. "The mornings are less crowded, and I'm trying to be consistent." I was supportive, proud even. My husband was taking his health seriously. What kind of wife would I be to complain about that? The second red flag was the phone password. We'd always had an open phone policy, not because we were checking on each other, but because there was no reason not to. Need to check a text while I'm driving? Use my phone. Want to order takeout on my account? Go ahead. It was never an issue. Until February, when I picked up his phone to check the weather because mine was charging upstairs, and it asked for a passcode. "Since when do you have a password?" I asked casually when he got home. "Oh yeah, the IT guy at work made everyone set them up. New security policy." He didn't even look up from his laptop. It made sense. I worked in retail management, he worked in finance. Different worlds, different rules. I didn't think much of it. The third red flag was the sudden interest in his appearance. Daniel started wearing cologne to the gym. He bought new workout clothes, expensive ones from Lululemon, not his usual Target finds. He got a haircut every 3 weeks instead of letting it grow out for months. He started caring about his shoes, his watch, whether his stubble was the right length. "You look nice," I'd say, and he'd smile and kiss my forehead and tell me he just wanted to take better care of himself. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. The fourth flag was the distance. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Daniel started pulling away. He was always on his phone, always tired, always had an excuse for why we couldn't have sex, too exhausted from the gym, too stressed from work, too full from dinner. Our date nights dwindled. Our conversations became superficial. When I tried to talk to him about it, he'd say I was being dramatic, that he was just dealing with a lot at work, that I was overthinking things. "You're imagining problems that don't exist," he'd say. And I'd wonder if maybe he was right. Maybe I was being paranoid. Maybe this was just a rough patch. But then came the phone call that changed everything. It was a Tuesday in March around 2 p.m. I was at work doing inventory in the stockroom when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. I hate spam calls, but something made me pick up. "Hello?" Silence. Then a woman's voice, smooth and sickeningly sweet. "Is this Claire?" "Yes, who's this?" "I don't know you, but I know you. I'm Vanessa. I work with Daniel." My stomach dropped. I don't know how, but I knew. Before she said another word, I knew. "I'm calling because I think you deserve to know the truth," she continued, and I could hear the smile in her voice, like she was enjoying this. "Daniel and I have been seeing each other for the past 4 months. We're in love. He's going to leave you." The stockroom suddenly felt like it was spinning. I gripped the metal shelf beside me to steady myself. Excuse me? I know this must be hard to hear, she said, her voice dripping with false sympathy. But he doesn't love you anymore. He hasn't for a while. He's just been too afraid to tell you. He's planning to end things soon, but I thought you should hear it from me first, woman to woman. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. My throat tightened, my hand started shaking, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. Why are you telling me this? I managed to choke out. Because I'm tired of being a secret, she said simply. And because you deserve better than a man who's been lying to you for months. Daniel talks about you sometimes, you know. He says you're clingy, that you don't understand him, that he feels trapped. Each word was a knife. She wasn't just telling me about the affair, she was twisting it, trying to make me feel small, worthless, like I was the problem. We have something real, she continued, something you and he never had. He's different with me, lighter, happier. He's planning to tell you soon, but I thought I'd save him the trouble. You're lying, I whispered, even though I knew she wasn't. Am I? Ask him about the gym. Ask him where he really goes every morning. She paused, letting that sink in. Actually, don't bother. He'll just lie to you again. He's good at that. Then she laughed. Actually laughed. Good luck, Claire. You're gonna need it. And she hung up. I stood there in the stockroom, staring at my phone, my entire world collapsing around me. My manager found me 10 minutes later, sitting on the floor, sobbing into my hands. I told her I needed to go home. She didn't ask questions. The drive back to the house was a blur. My mind was racing, replaying every moment of the past few months, every lie, every excuse, every time I'd ignored my gut because I wanted to believe my husband was a good man. When I got home, Daniel's car wasn't in the driveway. He was still at work. Good. I needed time to think. I sat on the couch, Murphy curled up beside me, and I just existed. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I didn't throw things. I just sat there, numb, trying to process the fact that my marriage was a lie. And then my phone rang again. Unknown number. I shouldn't have answered. I should have blocked it, deleted it, moved on. But something in me snapped. I wanted to hear what else this woman had to say. I wanted to know how deep this went. So I answered. What do you want now? I said, my voice cold. Oh, good. You picked up. I was worried you might block me. Look, I'm not calling to be cruel. Could have fooled me. I'm calling because I think we should talk, woman to woman. I know this is hard, but I really do think Daniel deserves to be happy. And honestly, you seem like a nice person. You deserve to be with someone who actually wants you. My blood boiled. This woman had slept with my husband for months, and now she's calling me to give me relationship advice? You don't know anything about me, I said through gritted teeth. I know enough. Daniel has told me all about you, about how you're always nagging him, how you don't let him have his own life, how you're so needy. He feels suffocated, Claire. Can you blame him for wanting something different? I wanted to scream. I wanted to reach through the phone and strangle her, but instead I did something smarter. I started recording. My phone has a built-in call recording feature. I'd never used it before, but I'd seen the option in settings. I pulled the phone away from my ear, tapped the record button, and put it back. So let me get this straight. You and Daniel have been having an affair for 4 months? We've been seeing each other, she corrected, like there was a difference. It's not some cheap affair. We're building a future together. And he's told you he's going to leave me? Yes, he just needs time to figure out the logistics. He doesn't want to hurt you, even though, honestly, I think you'd be better off without him. Right. So generous of both of you. I know you're being sarcastic, but I mean it. You're wasting your time with someone who doesn't love you. Don't you want to find someone who does? And where do you meet him? I asked, ignoring her question. At the gym? God, no. He goes to my apartment, has been since January. We work out together sometimes, but mostly we just spend time together, you know? My stomach turned. Every morning while I was asleep, trusting him, believing him, he was with her. And does he tell you he loves you? I pressed. All the time. He says I'm the best thing that's ever happened to him, that he wishes he'd met you years ago before you married you. I closed my eyes, forcing myself to stay calm. That's interesting, I said, because he told me he loved me this morning before he left for the gym. Vanessa scoffed. Of course he did. He's trying to keep up appearances. But trust me, Claire, it's over. He's just too much of a coward to admit it to your face. And you're so brave for calling me to tell you yourself? I'm doing you a favor, she said, her voice turning sharp. You should be thanking me. I wanted to vomit. Instead, I kept her talking. So what's the plan? He leaves me, moves in with you? You two live happily ever after? Something like that. We've already talked about it. He's going to tell you next month, after he gets his bonus at work. He wants to make sure he has enough saved up to get his own place first. Well, our place. She kept talking, and I kept recording. Every detail, every confession, every cruel, smug word. By the time she finally hung up, I had 15 minutes of audio that would destroy Daniel's carefully constructed lie. When Daniel came home that night, I was sitting at the kitchen table, my phone in front of me, the recording saved and backed up to 3 different places. Hey, babe, he said casually, kissing the top of my head like nothing was wrong. How was your day? I looked up at him, this man I'd loved for 9 years, and I felt nothing but disgust. Interesting, I said. I got a phone call today. His face didn't change. Oh yeah? From who? A woman named Vanessa. Says she works with you. I watched his expression carefully. For a split second, just a split second, his face went white. Then he recovered, forcing a confused smile. Vanessa? From accounting? What did she want? She wanted to tell me that you two are in love, that you've been sleeping with her for 4 months, that you're planning to leave me. The kitchen went silent. Daniel stared at me, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. That's insane, he stammered. Claire, I don't know what she told you, but she told me everything. I said, my voice eerily calm. She told me about your gym routine, about your apartment visits, about how you call her the best thing that ever happened to you, about how you're waiting for your bonus to leave me. His face crumbled. Claire, don't. I held up my hand. Don't lie to me anymore. I'm done with the lies. It's not what you think, he said desperately, and I almost laughed at the cliche of it all. Then what is it, Daniel? Enlighten me. I made a mistake, a huge mistake, but it didn't mean anything. I swear I was going to end it. When? Before or after you moved in with her? He went pale again. She told you that? She told me everything. In detail. And I recorded it. His eyes widened. You what? I recorded the entire conversation, every word, every confession, every disgusting, smug thing she said about our marriage. Daniel's hands started shaking. Claire, please, you have to understand. I don't have to understand anything. What I have to do is figure out what. Right,
I said slowly. Well, thanks for the update. No problem. Oh, and one more thing. She paused for dramatic effect. He told me you're bad in bed. Just thought you should know. And she hung up. I sat there, staring at my phone, rage boiling in my chest. That was it. That was the final straw. I wasn't just going to therapy for closure anymore. I was going to war. The therapy session was at 4 p.m. on a Thursday. The office was in a professional building downtown with soft lighting, calming colors, and a waiting room that smelled like lavender. Daniel was already there when I arrived, sitting on the couch, looking nervous. When he saw me, he stood up, his face full of hope. "Claire," he said softly, "thank you for coming. I know this is hard, but I really think we can work through this." I didn't respond. I just walked past him and sat down on the opposite end of the couch. A few minutes later, the therapist came out, a middle-aged woman named Dr. Karen Winters, with kind eyes and a calm demeanor. "Claire? Daniel? Come on in." We followed her into her office, a cozy room with 2 armchairs and a couch. She gestured for us to sit, and I chose the armchair farthest from Daniel. Dr. Winters smiled at us gently. "So, I understand you're here to work on your marriage. Why don't we start by having each of you share why you're here and what you hope to get out of this session?" Daniel jumped in immediately. "I'm here because I made a terrible mistake. I had an affair, and I hurt the woman I love more than anything. I want to fix this. I want to rebuild trust. I want to save our marriage." Dr. Winters nodded and turned to me. "Claire?" I leaned back in my chair and met Daniel's eyes. "I'm here because I want him to admit the truth. The whole truth, not the edited version he's been feeding everyone." Daniel frowned. "What are you talking about? I already admitted I had an affair. Did you tell Dr. Winters it lasted 4 months? Did you tell her that the affair partner calls me to brag about it? Did you tell her that you were planning to leave me next month after you got your work bonus?" His face went white. "Claire, did you tell her that you're still seeing Vanessa?" Dr. Winters raised her eyebrows. "Is that true, Daniel?" "No. I mean, I saw her once after Claire found out, but it was to end things, I swear." "He's lying," I said flatly. I reached into my bag and pulled out my phone. Daniel's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" "Playing the recording," I said simply. "Recording?" Dr. Winters asked, confused. "Of Vanessa calling me. Twice. Once to tell me about the affair, and once to tell me Daniel was still seeing her." "Claire, you can't—" Daniel started, but I was already pressing play. Vanessa's voice filled the room, smooth and smug and absolutely damning. "Daniel and I have been seeing each other for the past 4 months. We're in love. He's going to leave you." Daniel's face drained of color. "He's planning to tell you next month after he gets his work bonus at work." Dr. Winters' expression shifted from neutral to deeply concerned. "He came over last night, actually. We had a nice time. He says he's only going to therapy to make you feel better, but that he's already made up his mind." Daniel looked like he was going to be sick. When the recording ended, the room was silent. "Well," Dr. Winters said slowly, "that's certainly illuminating." Daniel was shaking. "She's lying. Vanessa is lying. I didn't say those things." "Which part is she lying about? The part where you've been sleeping with her for 4 months, or the part that you're still seeing her?" "I'm not still seeing her. I ended it, I swear." "Then why did she call me yesterday to tell me you slept with her the night before?" He opened his mouth, then closed it, then opened it again. No words came out. Dr. Winters folded her hands in her lap. "Daniel, I think we need to take a step back here. Clearly, there's been a significant breach of trust. But what concerns me more is the pattern of dishonesty. If you're serious about repairing this marriage, you need to be completely honest. Right now." Daniel looked at me, tears streaming down his face. "Fine," he whispered. "Fine. Yes, I saw her. I saw her twice after you found out. But I was ending things, Claire, I swear. I was saying goodbye." "For 2 nights?" I said incredulously. It's complicated. No, I said firmly. It's not complicated. You cheated, you lied, you planned to leave me, and you're still lying. I'm not. You told her I was bad in bed. His mouth snapped shut. You told your affair partner, this woman who calls me to gloat, that I was bad in bed, that I was clingy, that you felt trapped. You told her all of this, and then you came to therapy and sat here and told Dr. Winters you wanted to rebuild trust. I stood up, slinging my bag over my shoulder. I'm done, I said. I'm done with the lies, the excuses, the manipulation. I'm filing for divorce. You can have Vanessa. You two deserve each other. Claire, please. Daniel reached for me, but I stepped back. Don't touch me. I turned to Dr. Winters. Thank you for your time. And I walked out. Daniel called me 47 times that night. I blocked his number. He showed up at my house the next morning. I threatened to call the police. He sent his mother, his brother, even his friends to try to talk to me. I told them all the same thing. I was done. The divorce was finalized 3 months later. I got the house, Murphy, and half of his 401k. He got to keep his shame. Vanessa? She called me one more time, a month after the divorce was final. I just wanted to let you know Daniel and I are moving in together, she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. I won. I laughed, actually laughed. Congratulations, I said. You won a cheater, a liar, a man who will do to you exactly what he did to me the second someone younger and shinier comes along. I hope you enjoy your prize. And I hung up. 6 months after that, I heard from a mutual friend that Daniel and Vanessa had broken up. Apparently, he'd cheated on her too. Funny how that works. I'm in a better place now. I started therapy, real therapy, not the couples kind, and I'm working through the betrayal, the grief, the anger. I'm learning to trust again, to believe that not everyone is a liar. I even started dating someone new. His name is Marcus, and he's kind, honest, and patient. He knows about Daniel. He knows about Vanessa, and he's never once made me feel like I was crazy for trusting my gut. Looking back, I don't regret recording those calls. I don't regret playing them in therapy. I don't regret walking away. Because at the end of the day, I didn't just expose Daniel's lies, I exposed them to him. I made him sit there and listen to the truth he'd been hiding, and I watched his carefully constructed facade crumble. And honestly, it felt amazing. So if you're reading this and you're in a similar situation, here's my advice. Trust your gut. Record the call, save the evidence, and when the time is right, play it loud and clear. Because liars hate nothing more than being confronted with the truth. Edit. A lot of people have been asking what happened to Vanessa after Daniel cheated on her. From what I heard, she tried to call him out on social media, but he'd already moved on to someone else. Last I heard, she deleted all her accounts. Karma's a bitch. Edit 2. Yes, I kept Murphy. He's living his best life. Edit 3, to everyone asking if recording calls is legal, it depends on your state. I'm in a one-party consent state, which means I could record without her knowledge. Check your local laws if you're in a similar situation. Edit 4, thank you for all the support, seriously. This community has been incredible, and I'm grateful to everyone who shared their own stories and reminded me I'm not alone. I'm free now, and that's all that matters.